Okay guys, I'm gonna film another real-time video for you, and I think maybe I'm going to do the time-lapse. Hang on, I need to get in better lighting. But to do the time-lapse alongside the real-time video, because I know not everybody has like an hour out of their day to watch like a real-time video, so I'm also gonna put the time-lapse version. And I think this weekend I might try to make a vlog for you guys. I've put it off because my house is still a disaster and working, and I just haven't gotten as far on my house as what I would have hoped. So I think I'm gonna do that and just trying to fit in art stuff in between house stuff and just everything like working and stuff. So I'm gonna film another real-time video, and I'll probably put up the time-lapse version. I think I'm just gonna draw a face today before I have to go to work. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay guys, so I'm gonna start from the beginning so you guys can kind of get a feel for my process, and I'll talk a little bit about what I'm doing. I probably won't finish what I'm doing. I don't have that much time before I have to go to work, but I will kind of talk through my process a little bit. I have some piano music playing in the background. I had like a little bit of a copyright thing on my last video. I thought I could play stuff in the background because I wasn't monetized, and I really don't care about being monetized, so I wasn't making money off of it, so I thought it was okay, but it wasn't a copyright strike, but it was restricted, so I don't know. I don't fully know how YouTube works with that stuff. So anyways, I'm gonna start, and I might add like a third eye or something with this, just to make it like a little more interesting. So I want it to kind of be a big face because I want to do lots of shading. So the first thing that I normally do is a circle. And the circle doesn't have to be perfect by any means. I just kind of need a good placement for what I want to do with the face. So I do a circle. Kind of messy circle, just for placement. And my method for drawing faces has changed. I use this technique called the Loomis technique, or just a different way of drawing faces, and I like it so much better. I feel like it gets the proportions down a lot better. So with this technique, or way of drawing faces, you want to then figure out the sides of the head, which is right here, and then over here. And then you want to get the chin. And then the jaw. And then from the jaw, you can connect it to your head. So it gives you a nice jawline, and sometimes you can play with this to figure out where you want everything. Okay. Then I like to divide the head, or the face, since it's looking at you front, just to help get the symmetrics down. Then I like to put a line where I'm going to put my eyes. This also helps if you have problems drawing the other eye, you know. This helps keep everything where it should go. And then from there, I like to get a feel from for where I want to put the nose. I don't really get super crazy detailed with the nose right off the bat. I just kind of want to put it in here just to kind of feel for the placement. And I definitely adjust the face around it as I need to. Like if I put the lips in and I put them too big, I can like adjust the jawline. So think I want the nose about that size. And then I always do the Cupid's bow after that. And then I do like where the lips meet. I do this line first. And this is what I'm talking about. I play with the bottom jaw a lot just because now that I have where I'm going to put the lips, it just looks weird with the jaw. So I just kind of adjust the jaw to where I see it needs to go, which is kind of weird. I don't think a lot of people do this. I just feel like I want it to be a little bit more rounded here. It was looking a bit too narrow, so I'm going to adjust this. Okay, so now that it's looking better to me, and I'm also looking at the camera to see like how it looks to you guys, and I feel like this side needs to come out just a tiny bit. There you go, that looks a lot better. Okay, so from there, it's weird because I used to put the eyes in first and now it's like the last thing I do. I feel like I can kind of get a better feel if I put them in last. So now I just kind of try to figure out where I want the nose bridge to be, and I kind of want it to be like right here. You know? And I try to figure out how thick I want the nose bridge to be. I typically like thinner noses. I don't know, it's just an aesthetics thing. And I want the nose bridge to be a little bit longer, so okay. So once I kind of got that in there, now I try to figure out where I want my eyes to be. And I used to make my eyes super big and googly, and then I started to make them more realistic and more of a real shape, and I like it so much better. I feel like my characters look more mature. They don't look so baby and googly-eyed, and I like it a lot better, so I'm gonna not make them like ginormous. I'm gonna kind of keep them in a realistic range. So for my eyes, I just do these like little almond shapes. Like back in the day, they were like that big. Which back in the day wasn't that long ago, so. And I'm not really worried about like keeping them, making them look exactly perfect and look exactly the same right now. I kind of just want to get the placement symmetrical. Like I will do the shapes and everything else later. I just kind of want the sizing of them to be the same. This is kind of like a rough skeleton of how I want things to be. And even now I think the eyes are probably too big, but it's okay. And then I said I'd probably do like a little bit of my own flair to it. And I always either add some weird tribal makeup or like, lately it's been a third eye just because I like to draw eyes. So let's do a third eye, just make it fun. I just think it looks kind of cool. And you guys know me, I typically like to do like horns or eyes or butterflies or like something weird around my faces just to make it more interesting. Because I get kind of bored with just looking at a face. Like I feel like it just gives it a little something extra. So now I want to figure out if I want to do straighter brows or arched brows. And I think I want to do arched brows maybe. When you do straighter brows, it tends to make your figure look younger. And more innocent, and when you do arched brows, I feel like it looks more like sexy. And since the face is kind of looking a little chubby, you know, and like full, I don't want it, I mean, I could go super youthful with this, but I just think I want to make it a little more, I don't know. I want to balance that out a little bit more. So I think I am going to do like a little bit more of an arched brow. Nothing like super villain-esque, but I do want a little bit more of an arch. And by arch, like this is probably all I'm going to do. Which could be just like a normal brow to somebody, but I don't want like a super dramatic arch. Then maybe look kind of like some little hairs up here. Okay, and then from here, I think I want to do, I think I want to start figuring out the hairline from here. I normally do like longer hair, and I think I'm going to just add the neck in too. Which you guys probably can't see that because it's out of frame, but I'm just adding a neck. Okay, and it's a little off. If you guys actually see what I got going on down at the bottom, it'd make more sense, but I'll do a thicker neck just so it looks good on camera. Okay. Alright, so for the hair, I think, let's do long hair. We'll do like one side coming around. Maybe this side's a little more flared out. We can do it in front of the face. Not sure how I'm loving this, but sometimes you gotta erase some of the skeleton to really see where you want to go with things. I'm kind of just getting the basic feel. Like when I erase this and this, it kind of it tells me more about what I want, where I want to go. Kind of just lets me know what I'm doing. And I think I want the nose, it's very pointy right here, and I just want to make it a little less pointy. And then I think for the lips, I always have my lips open just slightly. I don't know what it is. It just makes my faces look more relaxed and more, I don't know. I just always like to have their mouths open just slightly. I just like the look that it gives. That's kind of my typical go-to type thing. Like there's different variations of things that I do, but that's almost always what I do if you guys look at my faces. Okay, I think I could probably open this mouth a little bit more. Okay, So I like how this is looking so far. Now I think I'm going to erase right here just to sort of see how that changes my face, and then once I get to this part I will work on the eye details. And it just kind of gives me a different perspective, so that's why I like to do this. Something about erasing the skeleton really changes my perspective, and it kind of makes me want to see, like, I think this is looking a little bit too straight. And typically, I don't like it being this, like, so I think I'm going to add some wave. And I'm really sorry that erasing is making this go crazy. So I think I'm going to offset one side of hair. Like, I've been kind of going out and then waving it in and then kind of going like this. I just think it looks so much better. And I think I will keep it that way. Okay. Alright, so I think at this point, this is what you call ghosting in the image, which is you pretty much erase as much as you can without losing the image. Like, you just want to see the outline of things. Pretty much this step was just the placement of things. Now, once I erase the skeleton, it will kind of give me a better, what am I trying to say? It'll just sort of put in, I can put details on it better, I guess. Like, I can fill in the detail on top of, like, this little ghost image that I have. It just works out so much better. But you don't want to erase everything. You literally just want to keep the least amount of pencil down. And I also think getting rid of some of these harsh lines and kind of freshens up your eye a little bit. I feel like lines can do a lot. Like, if you have a hard line, sometimes it can just switch your focus a little bit instead of kind of seeing everything as one equal image, like one, instead of seeing the image in like its entirety. Like, I could probably even get rid of that a little bit more, but it's okay. I plan on doing heavy shading on top of this, so now see how there's like this light little placeholder image underneath of it? We're gonna work on top of that. And I don't even mind like smudging it out a little bit just to give me a little bit of a mid-tone to work with. Okay, so typically what I do after that is I like to work on the eyes. If I get the eyes right, I can kind of make everything around it work. And you want to work super light because I personally erase a lot as I go, so you want to keep everything super light. And I like to work on the eyes, both eyes, at the same time to get them as symmetrical as possible, because I do know that is kind of one thing people struggle with. And that's kind of how I like avoid that, so I kind of just stay with the almond shape. that's about the shape that I want to go with. I feel like this side might be a tiny bit bigger. I just kind of play with it until I get it the shape that I want. No, that's a little too small. Okay, so that's about right. So next I'm gonna put the upper lid in the lower waterline. So it's just kind of a little line above it. Sometimes I'll even make the outer part of the lid. So this is like one upper lid. And then I'm gonna do the waterline. Sometimes it's tricky starting the lower waterline. I don't know why. So for the lower waterline, pretty much all you do is you just draw a little line underneath this line. I can actually probably zoom you guys in because I normally stay on the eyes for a while. There you go. Once I feel like I got the eyes down, I kind of just work from there. Like that's like the focal point. So. Okay, so next I'll put a line here just so I can kind of define the inner corners. Or the tear duct, just to separate it from the rest. Alright, so next I try to figure out where I want the face to be looking, and since it's straight at, like it's a forward face, I think I'm going to do just looking straight at you. Like, it's kind of my typical safe place to put the eyes. And you want your iris to be as circular, perfectly circular as possible. That was another big thing I used to do. I used to not make this a perfect circle, and it just kills your realism. And it looks very weird and unnatural. And then from there, once you have that as symmetrical as possible, then you want to put your pupil like directly in the center of that. And what I like to do, and this is just a personal thing, so I like to put a big highlight or reflection right up in here. Something about having a little bit of a light up here just really gives your eyes like a nice pop. And I don't fully fill in the pupil. I kind of fill it in like partiways around because it looks like there's a reflection like actually in the pupil itself. And then up here, I like to darken this part in just because your upper lid is kind of casting a shadow down on your iris. So I fill that in too. Okay, so I think from here, something still looks a little off to me about these eyes, and I think this needs to go higher. And I typically like a really dark upper lash line. It kind of looks like she's wearing makeup or like just really thick lashes. And then I think I'm gonna wing, give her some like pretty batty lashes on the end. Okay, so instead of going like super hardcore detail with the eyes right now, I'm just gonna start working in the shadows around just to sort of freshen up my perspective a little bit. I've had a hard time focusing lately, so I don't want to get too crazy. Like, it makes it easier on yourself when you just get rid of white and then work from there. Like, work on the eyes for a little bit, then work on the shading, and, you know, just going back and forth kind of helps piece the image together a little bit easier instead of just trying to get all the details in the eyes and then trying to figure it out from there. I tried to draw Amy Jo Johnson last night and it was not working, and I just felt really discouraged, and I kind of feel that way today. Plus I gotta go to work today, and just been feeling stressed and really busy and stuff, so kind of just want to make it easy on myself. I just have so much shit I need to do, and I've been procrastinating and going way slower than what I should, so I just felt overwhelmed, and I've just kind of been putting it off. And on my reference photo, I'm just kind of loosely referencing a picture just for the shadows, which I've noticed my faces turn out so much better when I reference something. But it's hard for me to draw like a certain person in particular because I always tend to take things in the direction that I just feel like it should go naturally. Like I like to put my own little flair on things. So when I'm drawing, I'm trying to make something look like somebody. I always want to do that just instinctually. And it changes them. They start to look like one of my weird chicks. Okay, so I think I'm going to blend all this in and make it softer so it's not going to look so rough. But I think I'm going to zoom you out a tad bit, and let's add this third eye in here. And it's the same process, only so much easier because you don't have to make this eye match any other eye. You can do whatever you want to do. You just gotta keep it in the center of the forehead. And it's super interesting because when I do third eyes, people think, oh, it's like Hindu inspired. Or when I do like goat horns, people are like, oh, it's like a satanic demon chick. But in all honesty, I don't ever look at it that way. I literally just do it because I think it just looks cool. Like, I like super high fantasy things, and I just think it just looks kind of neat. So yeah. And I also just love drawing eyes, so it just gives me an excuse to draw another eye. So it's the same type of thing that I do. With the other two. And sometimes I think it's cool to have like one white eye and like dark eyes, or like have them looking different directions, and I kind of want to do that with this one. Just so it's a little more interesting. Like she's looking at you and then she's also looking at you. Or she's also looking at something else. I think that'd be kind of cool. Make the top lid. I don't know why I'm so tired today too. I worked out this morning and you'd think that would wake me up, but apparently not. I think I'm just kind of bummed because I'm coming off this like 4-day like break for the holidays from work, and I've got a case of the Mondays. I don't want to go back. I'm like literally counting down the minutes to when I have to leave, and I have like an hour. At least Christmas break will be here before you know it. Okay. So we have, which I'm gonna decorate for Christmas and make the house look all nice, and I'll record it just so you guys can see. So the Cupid's bow, the shadow's like actually right here, and I think I'm gonna keep it there. Okay. And I think for the brows, I'm just gonna lightly fill in where I think they should go. Just to have some indication of brow in here. And I'll make it better later on. I'm just literally just trying to get something here just to anchor my eye, because because my eyes are not wanting to, my brain's not wanting to work. Oh wait, and I just realized I was super zoomed in and I need to back up so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I don't want to go too crazy because my hand's going to be all over this and smudge it, so I want to keep it, I always work from left to right, and I know there's probably gloves that you can get to keep you from smudging everything, but I don't have one, so that's just kind of what I do. So I think I always have a piece of toilet paper here to help me blend, but if whatever I can't get a smooth blend with this brush, I'm going to go in with the toilet paper. And because this paper, this sketchbook, is super, has a lot of grit, so it's really hard to get a smooth blend. And I'm going to build the shadows up gradually. It's just right now I'm trying to get a little bit more of a mid-tone. Like, I want a lot of contrast, so I'm not going too dark with the mid-tone. This is just kind of a transitional mid-tone, I guess. Like, I don't like toned paper because I like gradients. I like making gradients, and that was one thing that I couldn't do with toned paper. It pissed me off. I could not figure out how to get a gradient on toned paper. And this brush is actually doing a really good job, so. I'm getting a weird little smudge thing here, but I think I could probably get that out later. And my piano playing has stopped. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to the eyes, and I want to blend in. I'll zoom you back to the eyes. I'm gonna shade in the white part of the eyes because they're never fully white. They're always kind of dark, actually. They're a lot darker than what you'd actually expect. And I just want to smooth all this out and fix it all later. So now I'm gonna go in with like the darker values, and this is where everything starts to look a lot more realistic. And I like to gradually build up shadows. And then I always make this really cool smudgy eyeliner thing. I've been doing it for years. Actually, I did it when I was younger, and then I stopped doing it, and then I looked at some old stuff, and I'm like, wow, I kind of like this. I don't know why I stopped. And then I started doing it again. So I don't shade too much actually like in the white part of your eye, but there is one place I feel like a shadow always looks pretty good, and that's pretty much in the corners right here. I always do a little extra shading back here. It just helps make your eye to look a little more realistic. And then sometimes I will do a little bit right here, which I do think I need to do. It just helps it look more round. And then I'm gonna darken in here. Sometimes I'll add little highlights in here. I'll leave some little white spots. Okay. Do I want to finish up the eyes? I got about 5 minutes. I kind of just zoned out and just worked on it. Maybe I want to blend this in a tiny bit. I think that made it look a little bit better. Okay, I've got these two eyes in a place where I think they're okay. I'm going to add some lashes, and then I might go into here and make some like little marks. I kind of like to make these little lines go down. I just think it looks kind of cool. And I try to keep a balance between like smudged and like texture. Because if you smudge it out too much, it just looks really weird. And then if you texture it too much, it just looks really weird. So it's like a weird combination. And maybe like add some darker parts down here just to look like it's the liner is like skipping. And then I think I want to darken right here. And I like the outer parts of the lids to be dark. I just think it makes the eye look a little bit more, I don't know, like round or something. Okay, so I think the hair is gonna come in on the side right about here. So I wanna and I'm keeping this side lighter than the other side. Alright, I really want to add the nose in a little bit more just so I can kind of get more of a connected picture before I gotta stop. One of the hardest part is when you get going and then you have to stop. Alright, we're gonna do lashes and then I gotta get off. And then I might come back to the eyes and play with them again. So with the lashes, we're just gonna I like long lashes, so and even though you can't really see them too much on the bottom, I do like to put them there. It just kind of looks like she's got like tons of mascara on. I'm not taking this area just because it's driving me a little crazy. And then I think I'm going to do little dots down here in the iris. It'll brighten it up a little bit. Okay. So I think that's a stopping point for now. I'll zoom you guys out. So that's what we have going so far. It'll come together. There. It's kind of hard to see when you're in this stage because you have a lot of tweaks to do. It's even driving me crazy because it's in a weird spot that I don't like to leave drawings. I want to just like push through and keep it going, but I gotta go to work. I gotta, you know, make a living. So I will see you guys in part 2.